You know already who's in this
Live.
We all the way live. The party ain't over.
From the Say It Loud radio show.
Yo, my name is Bamboo MC. And when I'm not in the bodega arguing with Poppy for selling me a $6 Dutch Master, I'm listening to my favorite GILF, the grown and sexy Karen L. on the Say It Loud podcast. Word up. Beef with her is beef with me. Hell's Kitchen Smoke.
Are you ready? 3, 2, 1. Let's go.
It's time for the Fuckery. You're now tuned into the most unpredictable podcast on the World Wide Web.
I was about to shut it.
It's Say It Loud, hosted by Karen L.
Down. Hey.
Across all major platforms, and you are locked in.
You are locked in. You know what it is.
Pull up a glass of wine, ladies. Let the Henny flow, fellas. And get ready to turn the Fuckery up to world status. It's Karen L. live on Say It Loud Radio on your favorite internet platform, streaming live.
All right, it's another episode of Say It Loud, and today I have Bamboo the MC in the hot seat. What up, yo?
What's going on, yo? What's poppin'?
I'm so happy to have you here.
I'm so happy to be here.
I think a lot of people don't know that we go like way
back. Wow, yo. 1988, correct?
for real. Something like
1988.
that. Something like that. It's been a long time. How you been?
I've been chilling.
Yeah.
for the most part, you know, under the circumstances, you know.
Yeah, it's rough circumstances, but I feel like creative wise, where does that leave you? Are you stagnant in the creativity, or are you like
Oh
moving?
no. I like creativity, like it's what keeps me going. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, the goal isn't show business, is putting your soul in it.
For
Understand what
real,
I'm saying?
definitely.
So,
So I want everybody to get to know who you are, but before we get into that, let's just run down the regular gambit of the questions. But I want to like pick your brain a little bit. How do you feel about the current state of hip hop? Like, what do you think it is? Because sometimes I hear, like, for me, coming back from 1988, I hear certain people, and I'm like, it's very nostalgic for me. I can
right.
connect. And then there's other times I hear things and I'm like, I don't know what the fuck this shit is. I don't know none of the words.
I tell you the truth. I have an account with Spotify, and when I go to the genres, I'm like, yo, I go to the hip hop genre, and I'm like, let me see what's popping, what's new. And Karen, I swear to you, like the first albums that pop up, I play them because I want to see, like, I want to connect. None of it sounds like what I'm used to. None of it sounds like what I do.
Right.
So it's just like, yo, I don't, I'm not hating, like, yo, that's, do you? But it's just like I'm not. Yeah, I'm just cut from a different cloth. You know what I mean? I'm not, and I it's still hip hop. It's still hip hop, but it's just, it's just different.
Yeah, it's hard for me like to get connected to it because I still have that school undertone. So I know when I hear something, I'm like, yo, that's dope. And then there's other things I hear that I'm just like, yo, I can't get down with y'all with that.
No.
It's a no for me. It's
Exactly.
a no for me.
Exactly.
No. Yeah, and then I'm a hip hop head. So I'm like real that gully, grimy hip hop that that I grew up on. I'm that. So with that saying,
right.
Who are you listening to now? What's in your heavy rotation right now?
Heavy rotation, yo, it's kind of crazy. All right, Griselda. I don't know if you heard, but Griselda is like the most like connected. The new stuff that's coming out right now, like it's such a familiar feel right there that I connect with them. Also, like I like real underground hip hop, like Aesop Rock. I don't know if you ever heard.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, real underground. He's real wordy. Like when I want to just like dig into another dimension, I listen to Aesop Rock. Shout out to Aesop Rock. He's dope. Yeah. But who else? I don't know. I can give you my top 5. How about that?
Yes, that is one of my questions for you. So go ahead. Who are your top 5?
Okay. Nas.
Oh, for sure. He's my number 1.
There you go.
That's my number
Redman.
1, the first album. Okay.
Oh yeah. Illmatic was classic. Stillmatic.
Yeah.
Life is good. Bunch of albums. It was written like
Yeah.
Nas. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
Nas. Redman.
Okay.
Okay. Eminem.
Yeah, he's unmatched.
Yeah.
I would definitely put him in there. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna throw you a curveball right now. You ready?
Go ahead.
Nicki Minaj.
What?
Yeah.
I don't know if I would even put Nicki on the list as my top 5. I would say her delivery is fire, but I don't know if I would put her on my top 5 list. I don't know if I would do that.
All right. Well, that's
she's beautiful, but I just don't know when I think of like.
No, you know what it is about Nicki? No.
I think about so Nas is my favorite rapper of all time, and it's because I'm an English teacher, and I feel like when I listened to his stuff back then, I was like, yo, it takes a genius to write like this.
Yeah, no, he was definitely ahead of his time. No,
yeah,
definitely.
like he's writing in third. He had a song where he was like a gun or something like that.
I gave you power.
And he was writing from the perspective of, I can't get my students to do that, and he was doing that 20 years.
Yeah, no,
for me, like I feel like that's a whole different level of like being a writer and an artist. It's not just spitting from your perspective, but to embody something else. Like we try to teach that.
No.
I think that. I don't know. There's some artists that I feel like not necessarily writing skills, but definitely delivery. Nicki's one of those delivery. Like her punchlines are right on time.
Well, think about it.
Time.
The song "Monster," she killed everybody. Right?
Oh yeah.
She killed everybody. Like, yo, you got to give her props. What props is due. Like, you know what I mean? And I tell you this much: she's the only artist. I reached out to her like twice on MySpace.
Yeah.
And she responded.
Really?
She's, thank you emojis. I was like, oh wow.
Yeah. Okay, all right. I see you.
Maybe that's halfway how she got to the top 5. I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like that might got something to do with it though.
Yeah.
I do. So those are your top 5 musical influencers.
Correct. I named 5. I don't know.
How much of that? Well, that was like 3, but like how much of that influence was in your album that you put out, your most recent album?
Wow, man. Wow. Karen, like those are my top 5 favorite rappers, but like the style that I have comes from the hip hop Holy Trinity. You know who that is?
No, tell me.
Big Daddy Kane, Rakim, Cool G Rap. That's the hip hop Holy Trinity. That's what everything like in terms of the multi-syllabic patterns, Cool G Rap, the swag, Big Daddy Kane, the cadence of Rakim. Also, the cadence of like Slick Rick, the storytelling, or the swag.
Right.
Swag. The swag of Special Ed. Your highest title. Like that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. In terms of like style, like in terms of like, you know what I mean? But
that's dope that you could even identify, because there's a lot of rap. There's a lot of people call themselves artists can't identify.
Right.
Where even their influence came from.
No. I give props where props is due, but when it comes to my style, where I started rapping back in Yonkers. Listen, I started rapping when I was 11.
Wow.
Okay? I remember. Okay. So I was in a group home. I was in a foster home. Okay, like my mom was addicted to drugs. My father wasn't there. Moving from house to house. All of a sudden, child services snatched me up. I ended up in a group home in Yonkers, and I was in a group home in Yonkers. And when I went there, like I was already like. The first song I memorized was Special Ed. I got it made.
I got it made. I gotta go find a snippet now.
Yeah, that's the first song that I memorized fully. the first verse I memorized was Rakim, I Know You Got Soul. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I remember specifically going to the radio and trying to, like, every time the song came on to, like, you know, grab the tape, you know how the tape record and like,
yeah. You gotta flip it over, rewind it.
yeah, that's the era I came from. And when I got to the group home, these kids saw me and they, you know, of course they thought I was white, and they were like, you know, this is hip hop. I was like, I know hip hop. I start rapping. They're like, whoa, he knows what's up. And then I knew rap, but I started writing raps when I was in a foster home. When I was in a foster home, I was in a foster home in Yonkers, and there was this kid. He was like a mentor to me, and like he battled like DMX before I knew who DMX was. Right. The kid, I was like 11 years old. This dude came home with a mixtape. Like, yeah, I just battled this dude. He gave me his mixtape. He popped in the mixtape. It's like, he says, DMX, a name to be played, not heard, not 3 several letters, but a 3-letter word. D stands for destroying, damage, divine, master of an unknown number of rhymes. I was like, whoa. They don't even sound like what he sounds like, right?
Right.
I was like, yo, it was crazy for me. And he started shouting out like the neighborhoods around Yonkers, like Mulford Gardens, School Street, and like North Broadway, like Warburton, Ravine. Like, I remember this, you know what I mean? I lived in Yonkers for like 2 years, in the foster home, and I remember all that, and this is why I started rapping. And you know what's funny? Through all that turmoil, you know, no father, no family. I felt like nobody was coming to pick me up. This is the first time I prayed to God.
Yeah.
You ready for some real? Like, this is the first time I prayed to God. You know what I asked him for, Karen?
What?
Out of all the stuff I was going through, I was like, yo, God, can you make me a rapper? Not like, yo, get me home, get me a family. Like, no, make me a rapper. That's crazy. And you know what I feel like, Karen? I felt like he said, I'm going to grant you your wish, but I'm going to put you through it. You know what I'm saying? He's like,
to earn it.
Right. He's like, yo, I'm going to put you through it.
You. But you got to earn it.
Yeah. So, and you know, and I didn't notice it. Like, you know what I mean? After I came out the group home, I was agnostic. You know, not atheist, but agnostic, meaning that I knew that there was a God, but I didn't like identify to a certain religion.
Right.
I just knew there was a higher power. It wasn't until like this my last album is when God showed up on my doorstep and said, "Yo, what's really good? Remember what I did for you? Yeah,
right. Remember what you asked for?
Yeah, you owe me that." And I felt like he dragged me to the stage, Karen. He dragged me to the stage.
Dope.
Yeah, he was like, he said, "Yo, nah, B, nah."
Yeah, but he gave you the content. He gave you the content so that you could tell the story. Because if you didn't have no content, you can't tell a story. It don't come out the same way if you don't feel anything.
Correct.
To make it real. You know what I mean? That's not real. And so sometimes it doesn't make sense at the time, but like all of that now is who you are and your story, and now you can be a poet and tell that story.
Correct. And I didn't get into poetry until like I went to college. You know, like I was from Midtown. I was a stupid fucking little gangster rapper. Like I was, you know what I mean? Like
yeah. I mean, not but I get what you're saying.
You know what I mean? I was just like, yo, on the real, like I was you know, I was like the first one from Midtown on some like rapper stuff. Like there was a lot of rappers in Midtown, but they never admitted that they was from Midtown. I was like the first one to be like, yo, I rap and I'm from Midtown.
Right. Let's make this a place.
Exactly. Like, yo, stop fronting. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
it wasn't a place for some time. It didn't have a name.
It didn't have a name.
You wasn't downtown. You was just,
right.
You know.
And I moved like that, you know, and I would go to these little underground shows and I would let them know, like, yo, you know what? You know, I'm from Midtown. And picture me like a little light-skinned punk talking about, yo, I represent Midtown Manhattan. It was hard for me, Karen.
I believe it.
It was hard for me, yo. So I wear that, yo. I wear that, yo, Karen. I have to wear
I
that.
love
You know what I mean?
Midtown, though. I love Midtown. I love all my Midtown people. I do.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, you
That's the
know,
best part of my life.
word. I mean, listen. The other half of my life, I lived in the Bronx. Like, you know, for the most part, it's the Bronx. My mom lived in the Bronx for like over 25 years. My son is like going to school in the Bronx. Like, you know, one day the Bronx is gonna be like, yo, we're gonna claim all of you. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
there's
Same for
nothing
me.
I could do about it, type shit. Like, you know
Yeah,
what I
no,
mean?
yeah, I totally agree. I totally agree. But I do feel like the experiences I had in Midtown are not like any other place that I have ever lived.
No.
Say that.
Hell's Kitchen is like it's like Harlem's mixed cousin. You understand what I'm saying? Like, yo,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
just a
I think
mixture.
also it's a sense of community we had then, like
Oh
all
yeah,
of
yeah,
us. You know what I mean? Like people don't
definitely.
live like that anymore. They don't live
Nah,
like that. I remember
nah.
being on the block and people being like, "Go upstairs. I'm gonna tell your dad you out here. Go home." You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I remember that.
nah,
People don't live like that no more. Like I lived in a neighborhood,
nah,
like everybody knew my mom, everybody knew my dad. They knew when we was all getting into trouble
nah,
together. Like, and I just feel like people don't live like that anymore. So I think that's why it's such a nice
nah.
memory for me, you know, because I've never connected with anybody else or people like that like I did when I lived there.
Oh no, it took a
So let's
village.
get into this album.
Okay, yeah, all right.
Yeah,
It's called
that's
The
exactly
Legend of
what it
Jenny,
is. So what's the title of the album?
The Legend of Jenny Vega, The Legend of Jenny Vega.
Okay, and how do we come up with this title?
That's the name of my mother.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it all started like you know, I was going through turmoil. You know, for a long time, I didn't really care about, you know, being like a rapper or nothing like that. You know what I mean? Like I did poetry. When I was doing poetry, I saw the whole country. I saw like all the states, all the cities, and I was just like I was content with being who I was, and
Right.
I didn't know how much of an outlet. You know, going back to saying like, hey, this is a gift that God given you. You're squandering it. Like I wasn't really like I didn't really care. So how the Legend of Jenny Vega came about, you know, turmoil with my mother, like she's going through a real a mental crisis, and there's nothing that I can do about it. I can't turn back. I can't, I
Right.
can't take what she says and harp on things. She said some wow. I don't know if you heard the album, but like she said some crazy things to me, and I put it out there just to show people that they're not alone. It's
Mm-hmm.
it goes on in many families,
Yeah.
and everybody, everybody's human, and I still love my mother. I know, like there's a glimpse of her that's still there, still loves me and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it's a hard thing to carry. Nobody understands until like they go
Right.
actually
So they
through
see
it.
it and feel it. Yeah.
Yeah, you know.
And so that's how we came up with the title. But what are the songs on there like? Like where did that experience come from that made you write all of those songs? How many tracks are on the album?
There's 13 tracks on the album. Okay.
Okay.
Um there was the issue with my mother. I went through I had my son before I put out the Legend of Jenny Vega. I put out an EP called Word to Max, which is the celebration of my son being born. And I did the whole, I got engaged, I bought a house and stuff like that. And that stuff didn't work out. And some of that spills into the album, along with the love for my son and the relationship with my mother. So it's, I'm a very personal artist. I'm not, I don't rap about like I don't rap about slinging drugs or wearing jewelry or busting guns.
Right.
But my shit is hard, and you can feel it. You know what I mean? And I
Right.
don't have to show you.
And
I
it's
don't have to.
real. And it's
Right.
real.
I don't have to show you what's in my hand to let you. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's a whole. And I pride myself on that. You know, not having to go that route and still like capture hardcore hip hop fans. Like they know what's up with me. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I feel good about that. You know.
That's
Yeah.
dope.
Yeah.
All right. So we're gonna get into some music. What track are you gonna give us to play? What would be your first track off the album that you're giving us to play?
Okay. Chunky.
All right.
Do you remember Chunky? I don't know if you remember Chunky.
I do remember Chunky.
Wow.
His real name's not even Chunky.
No. Hold on. This might be another Chunky. You know, I'm not. I don't want to even say. We'll talk behind the scenes. I'm not gonna even say. But yeah. The first track is called Chunky.
Okay.
He was a friend of mine that passed away real young. And that's the first track. And I'm paying homage to him. The song's not about him. It's just like the first few lyrics. I mention his name and I say a bit of the story. And then I go into my story heavy, you know.
Okay.
So I talk about some deep things there, like, you know, the turmoil between my uncle and my mother. Like it was real hardcore stuff like going on.
You feel like the album was therapeutic for you?
Definitely.
Like the album was therapeutic?
It's very therapeutic. Like getting that stuff out, you know, not only is it therapeutic to me, it's therapeutic to the listener. And when the listener comes up to me and says, yo, when you said this part, I felt it because ...
Right.
It gives me an affirmation that like, yo, okay, what I'm doing, this is what God sent me here to do. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
You know, it's just an affirmation. Like, yo, you know what I mean? Like, he gave you this so you could do this, and it makes me feel good. So I'm gonna keep going, like, regardless of what. You know what I mean? Like, it's just gonna get more intense as we go along.
Well, let's go into the first track, Chunky.
All right, Chunky.
Play a little bit of that. All right.
Okay.
All right, here goes.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
And we are back with Bamboo.
Bamboo.
Thank you so much for sharing that with us. It's always nice to get some tunes. Am I saying it right?
Bamboo MC, yes.
How did you come up with the name Bamboo, by the way?
All right, so my nickname is Booby. Let's start with that.
Yes.
So, like, that's the only way you're gonna find me. Like in a neighborhood, like, yo, you know who Booby? Booby. Like, and I used to hang out with my friend. His name is Buddha. Right, he rapped too. And that was his nickname, Buddha, and my nickname was Booby. And he was like, yo, you should be Bamboo, and I'll be Buddha, and together we'll make joints.
Ah. Okay.
So I was like, okay. That's what I said. I said, okay.
Okay.
So I put the MC after. Like, I could have been MC Bamboo, but I figured Bamboo MC, it sounded better when I rapped it. I'd be like BAMB, double over MC. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
It sounded doper. What?
What's in your cup? Because I can see, they can't see us, but I can see you. What's in your cup? Because I want to know, because I want to know if whatever's in there will let you freestyle for us.
Freestyle? Wow. Okay.
Yeah. You could give us something.
Nah. I'll give you something.
You could give us something.
All right.
All right. I'm going to let you think about it.
Yeah, let me think about it.
Yeah, you think about it, but you give us something before you go. So, like, what are you working on now?
I'm working on an album called Hell's Kitchen Smoke. Yeah, Hell's Kitchen Smoke. Yeah, Hell's yeah. That's me and DJ I Truth. That's it's the title, and it's like
it's the temporary title.
No. It's definitely the title of the album, and it's also like the title of like me and DJ I Truth, and anybody like I put under the umbrella like Hell's Kitchen Smoke, like even like see what you doing. You know what I mean? I might tag you in a post and be like, "Yo, Hell's Kitchen Smoke." You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. It's a brand. It's a thing.
It's a thing. It's a thing, and it's also like, it's also this. Okay, the saying when people like, "Yo, I got smoke with this person." Like, "Yo, I got smoke with this person," or one crew has smoke with another crew.
Another crew.
Yeah. Hell's Kitchen Smoke is when you got beef with everybody.
with all of Hell's Kitchen.
Yeah, no, everybody in the world. Hell's Kitchen Smoke, like that's what I want to put across. Like it's one thing to have smoke with somebody. It's another thing to have smoke with everybody.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like so Hell's Kitchen Smoke is different.
And what's the basis for that album? Like, where's that energy coming from?
Well, it's coming from a place where I know that I make a certain brand of hip hop. My brand of hip hop is not very popular nowadays. That's one thing. Two, it's just like it's more of a boom bap, lo-fi, like poetic. It's back. It's kind of like back to the 90s type era with a new twist,
Some of us like that though.
Word. So
I think it depends on your demographics, because I definitely think there are some people that connect with that, and that I for one like miss that. So I think that's dope. Yeah,
no. Like definitely I've been getting the good looks from people like, yo, I miss that type of hip hop. So
right. And I think the people now, I can't say kids, but I think people now are missing that influence because they don't have it. They don't even have that influence anymore. It's sometimes for people so distant, they don't even understand. They're not going back and like listening before they write.
Yeah.
So I just came up with some shit in the toilet while I was on my phone. I'm gonna go in the studio, lay that shit down, and you just be like, wait, but I know when a lyricist is a lyricist, and I know when a rapper is a rapper. I know when I hear someone and I'm like, yo, that's a motherfucking lyricist right there. They can sit and they can put the pen to paper, or they can go off the dome, or they could take the most intricate piece of. And then there's people that are like I told you, they just on their phone, sitting on the toilet, their legs is numb, and then they come up with some shit and they're like, yo, we gonna go lay it down. And it's not. I'm not. I think it's not hip hop. It's not content. It's not written. It's not thought through. It's not telling a story. Like you said, Slick Rick, when he did that track where he's like good night and all that kind of shit, where he was telling a whole entire story.
Right.
You know what I mean? Where what was his guy? The guy that did the song Renee, and he's talking about his relationship with her, and he met her.
Mr.
And
Cheeks.
you know what I mean? What happened? And he gets in his car and he's driving on a Van Wyck. Like, that's storytelling poetically as a lyricist.
Right.
And that's why I love hip hop. That's that movie, Love and Hip Hop. Like, when did you fall in love with hip? That's me. That's me. Minus the dude. That's me. But there's a lot of people now where the beat is good and the hook is good. And I ain't gonna lie, I'll do my two-step, but they're not telling a story. It's not lyrics. It's not poetry. It's just you just spitting some shit that sound good on a nice beat, And I think there's definitely a difference from me as someone who is a connoisseur of these kind of things.
Right.
Could be like, yo, that's good, but that's not. You can't necessarily put yourself. That's why when you said Eminem, I was like, oh hell yeah, he in a class by himself as far as I'm concerned. What I mean?
Yeah.
But and then there's other people out now that are popping, but like I said, it's because the hook is dope and the beat is, and you can do radio if you got a dope hook, you know.
I mean, like that's the thing about right now. Like, do you still listen to radio? I'm like, I don't know.
I mean, I was on when I was commuting to work, but since Rona, I have not listened to the radio in I don't know how long.
And that's like, you know, people have to accept that. Like we live in a whole new world right now. Like people are getting their music from different sources,
right?
And I feel like you have to exhaust those avenues. I mean, you know, radio is dope. Like when you get on radio, you know, that's a good look. But I feel like radio is not the only.
I mean, I used to work for radio. You know that. So I used to work for radio. So we also know, because I was a programmer, that they're doing spins per week. And they're just they're programming based on what's spinning.
Right,
you know what
exactly.
I mean? It's not sales oriented, it's not content oriented. If you're looking for like new content as far as like artists, you're gonna have to check, you know, not the regular commercial radio. Commercial radio is looking at numbers from the number of spins, and that's all they look at as far as like how they're going to program what's on the air. Not is this, you know, authentic to what we're doing or what we're trying
right.
to. And so trust me, when I was programming, I remember that Rolling in the Deep song. You remember Adele Rolling in the Deep? I was programming that song every hour because that's what they told me to do. But you know, it's not so much about content. And so a lot of people take that like, oh, well, you know, you're not on the radio, but not knowing that that's not how, you know, that's kind of like the stock market. It's not like it's not about content. It's not about talent. It's about numbers. And if you got
I'm definitely more about building a legacy. I also recognize that the content that I have is not easily digestible. It's not something that you can listen to and just be like, I feel it right away. Like, of course, people like you feel it right away because you grew up in that environment.
Right.
But you got to know how for lack of a better word, you got to know how soft hip hop is now. Like it's real, it's real soft listening. Like they might be saying something like they might be saying about guns or whatever, but it's really soft, like rapping, soft listening. And it's like, I'm not. My content is more. I'm gonna talk my shit. My content is way more deeper than that. You know what I mean? Like,
as you should.
It's not. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not the one of the mill. I'm not the one of the mill. I'm you know, I'm not a young boy. I don't know. I look young. You know what I'm saying? That's just the Puerto Rican genes. But I'm not the one of the mill rapper. I don't. You know, you're gonna get different things. You're gonna get a whole range of emotions from me. You're gonna get like, I show my vulnerability, and you know, I'm human. I'm not trying to be like a hardcore dude or nothing like that. It's just, you know, I'm just trying to tell my story, trying to build my legacy, and trying to like, you know, leave that where it is.
I think that's
man, like you know, same thing with you. I feel like
I think that's good though. I think that's what makes it authentic.
You are not too different from me in terms of like now that we're going on the main stage and putting ourselves on platforms where you're basically standing there naked. You understand?
Yeah, that's how it feels some days. I will say
basically that. Like you basically standing there naked and you're like, yo, you know, this is me for me, and like, yo, you either love me or hate me or whatever. You know what I mean?
But I will tell you this, it takes a lot of personal growth to be in that space. Well, for me, I don't know about nobody else, but for me, it took a lot of personal growth to be in a space where you could stand there and be like, you know what, whatever you say, I know, or I'm prepared to hear. And if this is not for you, then it's not for you. And that's that. Yeah. You know, there's a lot of people walking around talking about, I don't give a fuck. There's not a lot of people living it.
Word. Exactly. You hit it on the nose, Karen. You know what I mean? Like, you gotta go. You gotta go out there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know,
you just gotta go and you gotta put it out there and you gotta be like, this is my thing and this is what I'm destined to do and I'm just gonna do it. And whoever likes it, that's great. And whoever doesn't like it, you know, it is what it is. It's not for you, and just and accept that. But it takes you to be a very confident motherfucker to be able to do that in wholeheartedly and not feel no kind of way. And so for me, it took a lot of personal growth to just be there and be like, you know what, people gonna come at you. Are you gonna be ready? And are you gonna be able to sit and be at peace? And to be totally honest with you, I'm good.
There you go, Karen. That's
So comfortable in my skin. I'm like, yeah, you know, if it's not for you, it's not for you. If you don't like it, don't look. Like, I don't know what else to tell you. But I don't think in my 20s I was like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think in my 20s I was like that. In my 20s, you know, you just not mature in that way. You hit 40. You hit 40, you know, that shit don't hang the same no more, but you're like, fuck it.
On the real, Karen, I was like, you know, in my 20s, I was doing this for fun. I was like, you know what I mean? I was just like, yo, I was squandering whatever I had.
You just wasn't ready. Don't say you wasn't squandering. You were preparing. Because then I could say the same thing. I could say, well, in my 20s, what was I doing? And I should have been more focused. I say that all the time. I'm like, if I would have done this 20 years ago, you know where I would be now? But I really do believe that the universe works, that the timing is right in the universe when it is. And that if you don't have a story to tell, you can't tell a story. So the same way you're like, the things I've been through is the same way. Like, I've been through a divorce. I got 3 kids. You name the full gamut. I been like where I'm gonna sleep. I ain't got no money. I been like my food card ain't got no money. Like, I've been through the full gambit of it. So if you don't go through those experiences, right, and you don't like build your character and who you are so that you would be ready when you got to this place. That's what I tell myself. So I don't be mad at God. I be looking at God like, okay, now I get you. Now it makes sense to me. You was like, you know, you weren't ready at that time. I had to build you into who you needed to be ready. And those experiences are what make you who you are today. That's why I could stand in those positions and be like, I'm good. Because you have, you know, your value in system, your comfortability, all that shit, you gotta go through it. You gotta live it. You can't you gotta walk it and talk it and live it, and they gotta be real.
No, like I was saying earlier, like in the beginning of the interview, I was telling you, like, I truly feel like God like dragged me to the stage, like he like grabbed me by both my feet and said, yo, you gotta make this album. Like, you know, I didn't give you, because there was a point where I was going through so many things that I was just like, yo, why is this happening to me? You know what I mean? And I was just like, you know, I was in a real dark place. And the only thing that was therapeutic to me was writing. And I didn't realize, like, all this, you know, through all this time, like, yo, he's been talking through me. Like, all the, like, I've said some ratchet stuff. I said some wild stuff on records. And you know, I realize now that this whole time, like, he's been talking through me, and he's been like getting me through things. And before this album came out, I feel like he dragged me to the stage, basically, you know, and
That's good.
Yeah. I feel like I made, you know, again, I'm gonna get on my soapbox and talk my shit. I feel like I made a mother effing classic. You gotta listen to the album. Like, yo, the album is nuts, yo.
Well, maybe that's what you needed to kind of put it together and push you into doing and using your voice and your talent into something that you could share with somebody else.
Exactly. I mean, listen, there's we have so much ahead of us, Karen. I mean, you know, what class were we in?
What class?
What class was that? Yeah, what class of PS 111 were we in?
I don't know. I have my mom got the pictures still. All the class pictures. Yeah, she has them still. And we take them all the year, like from kindergarten all the way, for me, for Richie, for Annette. She has all of the, so she got all the kids in the neighborhood, all of our pictures. Because if we was in class with you, she got all of them. So probably I would probably say like second, third grade, maybe.
So that was what, Miss Saunders, Miss Boyer, or some shit like
Saunders
that.
in second. We had Miss Saunders in third grade.
Third grade. Okay.
And Miss Boyer in fourth grade.
Boyer in fourth grade.
Yeah, so that's a long time ago. You were talking about, like 1980 something.
Yo, yes. Listen, man. Oh man.
That's when like graffiti and hip hop was just, they just met and shit.
Yeah.
It's so funny because you go to the neighborhood now, you're like, this don't look the same.
Nah. There was train tracks right in front of Clinton Manor. There was remember the train tracks?
Yeah, it's not there anymore.
No, it's not. There's a big skyscraper and people walking around with poodles and having glasses of wine on the
outside.
I mean, this is where like the train tracks were like
like
crimes used to happen down those train tracks.
Yeah, you gotta walk real fast when you're going through there. Just go
crazy, yo. And it's a whole different place now,
Yeah. It's
but
a whole different community, but I feel like us from that time though are still there. I think we encapsulated a lot of that.
Oh yeah, it's definitely I'm not ashamed to say that I wear it like a badge of honor, being that it was a real dangerous time, and like we
couldn't go to the park. You remember the park at night?
Nah, those heroin, crack, any drug. What? It was like the drug bazaar down at that park. Now you can't go down.
Go to the park at night. You crazy?
Nah, I was nuts, yo. And
I think that builds so much character and so many stories for all of us, though.
Yeah, nah, we good now. Like, I tell you, I won't lie. Like 2020 is bringing a lot of memories back. Like, this is crazy. Like, it's wow.
2020 has definitely pushed people to the brink. For a number of reasons in a number of ways, and it's it's been emotional. It's been an emotional roller coaster, whether you wanted it or not. They was just like, here, take it. You know what I mean? Yeah. They got to the point where, let me tell you, where I stopped watching the news. It got to the point where I stopped watching the news. Like I wasn't putting
draining.
It because I was draining. Taking this on, and it's emotionally like it's just draining for me. Like I'm not turning the news on. I don't want to know anymore. I don't want to see like people dying every single day for all day long. Your grandma be having the TV on the news all day long. I was like, I can't. All day from morning till night. I'm like, I can't do it.
Furthermore, I know a lot of people in the education world. Like I know a lot of teachers and they come to me and they're like, yo, like they're very informative, like they're watching what's going on, and I'm like, they're scaring the bejesus out of me. They'll be like, yo, a lot of stuff coming. I don't even want to put this on a podcast, but there's a lot of conspiracies as to what's to come next. That it doesn't look good at all. Like I'll be honest right now, I don't want to take that vaccine at all. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no. I'm not. Y'all go try it on a bunch of people for a couple of years and see how that goes. But my honest opinion, and I will say this, my honest opinion is that the average time for a vaccine is a couple of years to see what the side effects are. And so they're going to force everyone to take this so that we can get back to our normal lives. And I understand the economy and things of that nature, but I don't think the vaccine has been tested long enough for you to tell me what's going to happen. Right? We were scared of Zika and women having babies with Zika, but you can't tell me what's going to happen with the shot when I take it. In 5 years, the baby's going to be coming out with 3 heads and autism and all kinds of stuff, and we're not going to know. I forced my child to take it. Like, you can't give me any guarantees because you don't know. So I personally feel like they are going to try to force people to take it. I mean, I don't think they are. I've already seen memos and emails that are like, you're going to have to do this. But I feel like that's what they did to the Tuskegee Airmen, and look at that situation.
That's what they did to the Tuskegee Airmen That's what they did to. They sterilized a whole bunch of women in Puerto Rico. Like, they told them this was a form of birth control, and they took away their ability to have babies. They injected like cancer. They injected cancer in a lot of men and women, and these are the stories that I look to when I hear about vaccines. Okay,
Yeah. I mean, I feel like if it hasn't been tested long enough and there's not no evidence and the work hasn't been put, and I mean years of testing, because that's how they test for everything else, then I don't think we should be subjecting ourselves to it, and then definitely not subjecting children, because they gotta live. We're bad, but they gotta live their whole entire life. My son is 11. You have a young son. What happens to that young man when he can't have kids 10 years from now?
Nah, you see, nah.
Immune system problems, or they constantly sick, or they have lung problems, all right, you know what I mean? Like, easy to say, like, you have to do this, but you're not telling me what's going to happen later. 20 years from now, we're going to have girls and boys, like, what's going to happen to them? I'm not.
Karen, there was a girlfriend of mine sent the pictures of somebody with holes in their feet from taking a vaccine, from taking the COVID-19. They have the first testings.
Yeah. The clinical trial.
The clinical trial. This person, they were pro vaccine, pro all that. She sent me pictures with this person with holes in their feet. I was like, yo, I am good money. Like, that's crazy. Like, I never seen that like it.
I'm not saying I don't think COVID's real. I do think COVID's very real, but I also wonder, like, where did it come from? Because if we're at 19, what happened to like 18, 17, 16, 15? Like, where did this just come from to the point where it got so out of control? Because
what's crazy? There was a rapper.
I don't know if I buy them.
Listen,
my son was like, "Mom, it came from bats." I'm like, "Bats? Who the fuck is eating bats?"
No, what? Yo,
he showed me
everything.
He showed me the video. I'm like, you know what? I don't want to know. I don't
but know. Furthermore, there was this rapper that came out around 2013. I'm gonna send you the link I gotta ask my friend for it. Rapper came out like 2013, whatever, and he was like, "Yo, the coronavirus got more piling up." Like, he said, coronavirus.
Oh, damn. So he knew about it.
He knew about it. And people asked him, like, yo, did you guess that? He was like, no, I knew about it. I was like, oh, wow.
You got people out here acting. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm not with it, though. I'm not with it subjecting more people to being sick to prove anything to anybody. Like, this is like real life and real shit. You just can't just be like,
I respect
people's lives up.
I respect every establishment that I walk into. Like, I wear a mask and stuff like that. But these people are catching lung infections off those masks. You understand what I'm saying?
It's like a no-win situation, because if you put the mask on, that's why I also feel like going back to school, going back to work right now is kind of fucked up for some people. Because if you got like a 6-year-old kid and you trying to tell them to keep a mask on all day, like, I have a hard enough time keeping my mask on in the supermarket for 20 minutes. How are you going to have a kid keep a mask on for 8 hours a day? Like, they can't even keep their scarf on or their shoes on or anything, like, you know what I mean? They can't keep their book bag on. Like, you asking a lot.
Plus, all it does, it brings down your immune system. You know what I mean? Because you're not inhaling proper bacteria. Like, you have to, like, what's crazy is that, in order to live, like, you have to, like, have certain bacteria around, because if you're in the house all day and every time you go out you wear a mask, your immune system becomes so low that when it does hit you, like, it takes you out of commission. You know what I mean?
I don't know, but all I know is that right now I feel like this has gotten out of hand as a country. And I feel like if y'all could put people on the moon, y'all could have better contained this and prepared for this and did the right things.
Word.
I feel like economically, I understand why they want kids back at school and people back at work. But at the same time, this is the only country that did the least amount for its people, especially the middle class people. Rich people stayed rich and poor people, they never had it to begin with. But like the middle class people get squeezed. And the American economy needs to understand, like, if middle class people don't have money, nobody has money. Nobody has money because we're the ones buying, shopping, buying cars, buying houses, going to the supermarket. Poor people ain't doing that because they don't have money. And rich people put their money in the bank. So when you squeeze the middle class people, you're halting the entire economy. American economy. And so I feel like if they want to help themselves, they need to help the people that contribute to that economy. That's what I think. I think $1,200 in this country is a damn shame when we're one of the richest countries and every other country did way better for their people. Canada, Italy, France, they got rid of mortgages in places. They gave people 6 months worth of money. We ain't got shit here. They loaned us $1,200 of our own goddamn money. Like, I'm gonna spot you $1,200. I'm gonna take that shit back when you get the taxes.
100%.
People with taxes could get it because watch there be a tax break on a tax change. You short $1,200 this year because they funded you that shit and act like they did you a favor. That's sad. Yeah, we talk politics and everything, but let's get into that track Chunky off the album. Let's do that. Let's go.
My best friend Chunky was playing the game of chicken. By the time the ambulance came to get him, angels was with him. Every day I miss him, and when I pray he listens. He tells me obey the vision and slay the competition. I'm going off and broke, the money's for all my folk. Leave him out of it, come for me, I want all the smoke. Devil ain't see me coming, looks like he saw a ghost. I told him before I go, there's something that y'all should know. My uncle chased my mother around the room with the stairs. When she saw me, she picked me up and used me as a human shield. She did it because she knew that he wouldn't do it, but still. Do we hear when we reveal the secrets that we can tell? Fuck, keep it real, don't tell me what people feel. This is real evil spills, this the Grim Reaper's will. Don't sleep on the deepest trail, you know I'll get back to you. Booby is casual, but Bamboo's an animal. Once upon a time all of my demons were chasing me, but when I turned around they had a problem with facing me. Fuck how the way it was, this is the way it be. I'm taking your brain with me, then bowing out gracefully. By the way it's me, it's the B-A-M-B, double O head to toe. House Kitchen's great MC, I'm all yours faithfully. I need you to pray for me. Y'all been patient, this is for making you wait for me. Now I don't like to talk politics, but I ain't with the sucker shit. You voted for Trump, both of y'all can suck a dick. Don't pass me the blunt, fuck around, I put dust in it. But who do you trust more, me or the government? Statue of Liberty's loving it, she can't get enough of it. Clenching my gap teeth as I whisper, you fucking bitch. You say what's up with this, I'll be like what's up with it. This is hot in the pot, better go get your oven mitts. Father wasn't around, he was fucking some other chick. Right in the next building on some deep undercover shit. Wasn't happy to see me when I finally discovered him. Then my love for him dwindled down into nothingness. All the pain and the suffering, sustaining and buffering. I remain in the humble tip as I wait for the mothership. At one point in my life, I was tired of drunkenness. Fuck it, my bucket list got accompanied on some other. Once upon a time, all of my demons were chasing me, but when I turned around, they had a problem with facing me. Fuck how the way it was, this is the way it be. I'm taking your brain with me, the bowing out gracefully. By the way it's me, it's the B-A-M-B, double O head to toe. House Kitchen's great MC, I'm all yours faithfully. I need you to pray for me. Y'all been patient, this is for making you wait for me. Yo, this is Bamboo MC. You can find me on IG at BAMBOO.MC. My YouTube channel is Bamboo MC. Google me. House Kitchen.
I love my HK fam. I fucking love my HK fam. Shout out to Bamboo for coming through with that and all that good shit, yo. That's how we do it up here, yo. I love real hip hop. I love that shit. Shout out to Bamboo for coming through. Y'all know where to find me. Say It Loud Podcast. We everywhere. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all that good shit. We www.sayitloud.com. That's how we do. You already know. You already know. You already know. You already know. Hit me up.
clear, we are popping it off.
Flex your fingers, and type up www.saidloud.com now. And stay in tune with everything. Karen Hill is on the World Wide Web.
How did I bring my dreams alive? Why, with a Anchor podcast, of course. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor does the hard work and distributes your podcast for you so you can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can even make money with your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast all in one place. Download the free Anchor app today or go to Anchor FM to get started.